least on Twitch and Facebook. So, all right. Good morning, Vietnam. Hey, this is not a test. This is rock and roll. Time to rock it from the Delta to the DMZ. Is that me, or does that sound like an Elvis Presley movie? Oh, Viva Da Nang. Da Nang me, Da Nang me. Why don't you get a rope and hang me? Is it too early for being out loud? Too late. Adrian. Oh, Adrian. Jane. Anyways, hi. Do you remember Good Morning Vietnam?
I do.
Yeah. Robin Williams was nothing like Adrian Cronauer, or Adrian, or the other way around. But Adrian Cronauer did have an armed forces radio show. He never worked with the Viet Cong on accident, and he didn't act like that on the radio. He was more like this. Good morning, Vietnam. Here's
You mean
some
the movies lied to us?
here's some music. Enjoy. Yeah, it's fiction. Fiction. Remember when I was in college back in my younger days, had a professor who knew Adrian Cronauer, because I was in the radio broadcasting and whatnot, as you recall. And yeah, he was the first one to point that out. And I'm like, but he got paid, right? He got paid for Robin Williams to make him famous. That's pretty fun. So can't beat that. So I was laying in bed when you told me to send you the Zoom link, and looking at Reddit videos and listening to a podcast. And I just said zoom.com and then hit send, and it made me laugh hysterically. It was my own joke. And Daniel was asking for the link to get to the show. I just sent zoom.com and it made me giggle. So, Atomic Dork duo for now. We'll see if Atomic Dork squad happens if Jeff shows up. He said something about he had to go to a oil wrestling convention with some of his sweaty male neighbors, and discuss like who was going to be on top. And then hopefully when that finishes up, he'll come join us and we can talk about trivia and trivial matters. I have some quizzes, and then maybe some Star Wars. Yeah, I actually watched a bunch of Star Wars. I don't know what happened. I just had a moment where I thought, you know what? I hadn't watched all of anything. I mean, I saw all the movies. I haven't watched any of the cartoons. That's not true. I tried to watch like Clone Wars. I think I watched like first episode, and then I was like, I don't know, I couldn't get into it. But for the live action stuff, I hadn't finished Mandalorian. I hadn't finished the Book of Boba Fett. And I hadn't finished Andor. And
Jeez.
I did watch Ahsoka. I believe I watched all of that.
Which would
So
have been better better had you watched Clone Wars. You would have.
that's what I hear. So I had watched Andor, half of it, Book of Boba Fett, first two. I did watch all of Obi-Wan. And then The Mandalorian, I think I'd watched the first two seasons, or first season and a half. So then
Geez,
I
you didn't
started,
even get to Luke showing up, huh?
uh-uh, uh-uh. I was like, wow, why didn't you guys tell me? That was pretty cool. And I'm like, I recall this coming up in conversation. I was like, wow, they did a pretty good job, actually.
I
Uh,
thought, yeah, they obviously did a better version of him in Book of Boba Fett.
yeah, yeah, you can tell like they got a hold of that technology a little better.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's funny. So the great thing about that is, so there was a guy that after the Mandalorian came out, he did a deep fake and made it look better.
mhm.
And so they hired him to do it for them. So he did
Okay,
it for Book of Boba Fett.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and your home computer, you one up them. What's up, fish? So, for those of you stopping in, hi. For those of you who's not stopping in, that's okay. We don't do this regularly enough for it to be a thing. Not that it was much of a big thing before. It's just a good opportunity to catch up and talk some nerd. So, with that, Daniel, what have you been up to, my friend?
Well, let's see. Turned 50.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Old AF.
Started a new job. Hopefully, this week I'll actually get to go out on some runs on my own because I'm tired of the days that I don't have anything to do and I'm doing training at home.
Yeah,
I,
when you're a pizza delivery driver, I mean, you just want to get out there,
yeah. Well, it's funny. They want to have us out before we go out on our own. They want to put us with some experienced techs, but the only person they've sent me out with so far, well, the one guy they did send me out with that's been around for a while, he left and went to the other company that was trying to hire me.
Okay.
And so,
Domino's.
yeah. And so so this last week I was with the guy that I worked at my last company, this is the third company I've worked with him at. So
Oh,
he's been there 2 weeks longer than I have.
oh wow.
And so it's not like he's teaching me anything. I was doing very similar job to him at
Right.
the last company. So the only thing that I need to learn is the ticketing format, and I've pretty much got that down, I think.
Cool.
Uh,
So you
but
turned 50, you got a job. For anybody who cares, he's an AV nerd, right?
yeah,
So that means asparagus, vegetables,
no,
and
lobster.
lobster. There you go. I'm gonna fix my mustache while we're talking. So, or fix it or make it something.
Yeah,
Here we go.
I went from an on-site position, was company found me on LinkedIn and offered me a bunch more money.
Yeah,
And the nice thing is that so I get the tickets that I'm whatever tickets I have to do for the day. And from the moment I check my computer before I leave the house, I start getting paid. And then until I get home back home.
nice.
And I get mileage except for I don't get I get only over 50 miles on the way home. But everything driving to I get mileage for,
Okay.
which most of the time it'll probably be no more than probably 70 miles in a day.
Well, that's not so bad. And you're using your Ford Focus.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably buy a Maverick uh, next week.
What is a Maverick? I don't even know what that
Uh,
is.
it's the small Ford truck.
Oh, okay.
It's closer to the size of the Ranger used to be.
Okay, so that's cool. All right. What do you think of my mustache? Ready? Go.
Amazing.
I need better wax so I can actually curl it, but I don't
You get
usually.
some from your ears.
Mm, good call. Thanks. So congratulations on milestones. Uh ex extending your career at 50, right? 50 is the new 30, I tell you.
Yeah,
There's
the
such a
fact that I
lack of.
started
Go ahead.
I started in AV like 10 years ago, making $13 an hour,
Right.
and now I'm where I'm at now, and
Making more than 13.
yeah, much more.
That's good.
Like,
That's good. If you could like I used to have a goal. I was like, when I remember when I first like doubled minimum wage, and I was like, dude, that's a living wage. I mean, you double it, double. That's incredible. It's not a living wage right now, unfortunately.
mm,
That's, I mean, really unfortunate. But then when I like quadrupled, then I was like, okay, now it's something to brag about. But even then, it's still nothing to brag about. Isn't that the crazy part? I remember
yeah,
when my dad was getting towards retirement. I remember I asked him, I said, well, how much money do you make now? I knew at one point in the 80s he was making like $36,000 a year. He worked for the Department of Defense. It was probably like 1986. He turned 40, right? And he was making like under 40 grand a year. Um, and we were doing fine. He was the only one who worked. And we had a house. It was like the third house they had purchased, paid the bills. no big deal, nothing in the world. Had three kids, still getting by.
Yeah, Marine
And then
police.
he retired in 2007, I believe. Um, and he didn't like retirement, so he died in 2010. He just had to bail out. He couldn't spend that much time with my mom, apparently. And just kidding. Um, but around mid early, I moved here in 2004, and I remember I kind of had that conversation, and he had mentioned, he's like, yeah, they're gonna want me to retire soon. And I said, why? Yeah, at the time he was like 57. And he's like, well, they're trying to restructure the DOD, and I make too much money in my position because I've been here. He was a GS-13, and he made like $105,000 a year or something. This is, 20 plus years ago. So he was doing okay. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. You make that much? Like you make 8 or $9,000 a month? And he's like, yeah, yeah. He goes, but son, you're just you're just poor at a higher level. Like he's like he goes, you think when you're making 30 grand a year that if you're making 100 grand a year that you're gonna be like, yeah, we've made it. But no, because it comes with time and experience and unfortunately economy that tracks it. You know, he made $3,200 a year in 1967 when he joined, was in the 67 or 68 when he joined the Air Force. He made $3,200 the whole year. And said we basically lived the same as we did when I was making $100,000 a year, 30,
Jeez.
30 years later. It's just economy. He said back then you can buy a car for $600 and a house for 25,000. So, to see how everything goes exponential. It's pretty nuts, but I'm not complaining. I'd rather make six figures than five, so that's okay. But yeah, congrats, dude. That's really cool for you. That's exciting.
And then we went to uh, Smokies, Gatlinburg, and rented a cabin for the weekend last weekend. That
All
was
right on.
nice. That was kind of the birthday getaway
That was your
because
replacement for not having the Star Wars extravaganza opportunity to go
yeah,
to
pretty
set it
much.
down.
Oh
Yeah.
man, and the that was had I realized that that was just the start of the weird bad things that would happen for my 50th birthday.
What do you
So now,
mean? What else happened?
okay, so my daughter makes me this beautiful cake. It's a cake that I asked her to make flavor. It was chocolate cake with a tahini frosting. So it was kind of like that halva. It was a tahini buttercream frosting.
Tahini is blended sesame seeds, like
Yes.
sesame and something else. But yeah,
Yeah. So
I've
there's
never had
a.
tahini frosting. I was a pastry chef and I never made sesame seed oil frosting, but it sounds interesting, decadent.
Have you ever had halva?
I don't know. I don't know
Oh,
what
it's a
oh,
middle. We used to have it at my house. I feel like you might have had it at my house at some time. We used to
I've
buy
had
it pretty
hummus.
regularly. It's basically halva is it's a Middle Eastern candy that's made out of tahini. I've made it myself here. It's
Oh,
pretty, but it's you just basically melt sugar into tahini is basically all you have to
oh.
do.
Yeah, I don't recall ever having
Um,
that, but cool.
but anyway, so that was kind of the flavor profile.
Okay.
Tara didn't realize is that the tahini she gave Ella to make it with had garlic powder in
Yeah, because it goes with hummus.
it.
Yeah.
So
Tahini and chickpeas as hummus makes sense. Garlic goes with it.
so we tasted the frosting. We're like, that's not right. What's wrong? So then
Something's off.
the restaurant that I had chosen to go to was closed on Tuesdays, which my birthday was on a Tuesday. So we ended up going to a steakhouse. So that was pretty good. There seems like Tara got food poisoning.
What was the tahini?
No, probably
Hmm.
no. She had gone. Well, it could either have been from the steakhouse because she did have some shrimp.
Mm.
Um, but other than that, we all had steak. I think we know Ella didn't have steak. Um, so it's possibly been that, but it could have possibly been she had went to lunch with some of her coworkers at a barbecue place, so it's possible she got it there too. Um, So yeah, food poisoning. There seems like there was some. Oh wait, yeah, I have a list of all the things.
Oh, okay. All right. So you turned 50, you had garlic cake.
Garlic cake.
The wife was blowing it out of both ends.
Where is there a shared post? That's Ellis. There we go. Daniel's 50. All right. So pouring rain, restaurant closed, garlic cake. Oh, Tara had tried to get decorations, and the first one said aged to perfection. So she thought, oh, that's perfect. But then all the decorations she got there underneath that were like beer up. And so they're all alcohol based.
Nice.
And um,
That totally fits you.
then Tara, when we went to the restaurant, was wearing mismatched shoes.
Hmm.
Of course, my daughter had it, but Ella was perfect and amazing and an angel. And then I who still hasn't made a edible cake. Um, let's see. So then we got to Gatlinburg, and Ella was sick during Saturday, although hers was, I think, a sinus kind of messing with her inner ear type stuff, making her dizzy. And um, then we went to Guy Fieri's restaurant, Flavortown, for Saturday night, and our they said our seat was available at 8:11. So we were sat probably by 8:15. We were ordered by 8:20, 8:25. Our food came at 9:40.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. I was up. The food came while I was up looking for a manager to say hello. Because not only was it an hour later, there was five parties that came, like five tables around us, including two parties of like 10 that got their food, even though they were there 10 to 15 minutes after we were.
Oh, yeah, that just kills me.
And so
Yeah.
I was up looking for the manager, and he came up, and they ended up it was like would have been like $100 check, and it was like 30.
Hmm.
Um, but
Yeah, I hate
yeah,
that
it was, and the
when
thing is that's not the first. I mean, Ella and I ate there for lunch a few months ago, and we waited like 30 minutes for our food at
like,
lunchtime on a Saturday.
you know, we got to get your kitchen under control, man. If you can't, it doesn't matter. You can have a five top and you can have a 10 top. It doesn't mean that you fire the 10 top first. Take care of your five top, then your 10. Like that's
Right,
it.
in the order the orders come in.
Just
Um,
first in, first
I
out.
think that the place is too big, and they didn't make a big enough kitchen. They needed to probably have two kitchens, one to do different parts of it, because it's a huge place. Picture a Dave and Buster's with half of it being restaurant.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty huge. And it is,
What?
I mean, it basically is a Dave and Buster's too. It has all the games and stuff.
Oh really?
They have a giant Hungry Hippo, which is why we had gone there in the first place. We were going to have dinner, play Hungry Hippo, and then we had an appointment for an escape game after that, which we escaped, and then we did another one Sunday and escaped again. We are, I think, as a family, we have not escaped yet, unless we've done two with my parents. We didn't escape either of those,
Yeah,
and
because you let them participate.
yeah, and then the first one we didn't escape, and that was with my sister in law. And but that was also the first escape. We didn't really know how they worked as well back then, and the kids were little too. So, but now since the kids have been old enough to think it through, we usually finish with at least 10 to 15 minutes left.
Nice. I've done one escape room. It was with a bunch of coworkers, like a manager retreat. And I mean, we escaped, but I just kind of, I don't know, I helped solve a couple of things. But when you have a management group, everybody wants to be in charge because they're all managers. So I just went out of my way to stand back and be like, oh, I'm a resource if you need me. Give me a riddle, ask me a question, but I'm not gonna be up there fucking throwing elbows with everybody, trying to be like, no, no, it's this, no, turn it that way. No, I would just sit back calmly, be like, maybe I think the combination is this. Oh, okay. Let you guys fight over it.
Yeah, every once in a while, with the kids, they'll be like, they'll get distracted with, "That's what I said," and you weren't listening. Well, and
Mhm.
but usually we can shake that off pretty quickly.
That's good. That's good.
But yeah,
So
I think we've now escaped 8 or 9 of them. There was one in Nashville that's just amazing. It was a multi it was over $1 million escape room. The last it's all Indiana Jones kind of thing where you're going through a temple and you've got to get the heads on the statues right. You've got to read all the stuff, and in the last room that even the walls start to collapse and come in on you. It was that was pretty intense. You're trying to get out, and we had set something on the floor. We had this one piece that was for the end of the game, and we'd set it on the floor, and we didn't realize the walls were moving until all of a sudden the wall was touching it,
oh,
and we're like, wait a minute, the walls are coming in, so we had to solve the last puzzle, and it was pretty cool. The It's the Escape Game is the company. They're based in Nashville, but they're all over. They it was they do really good ones. And then the other one we went to uh, when we were in Gatlinburg is Escapeology, and they actually have some. There's a Batman one. There's a Star Trek one. Um, we did an Agatha Christie one, and then we also did a Who Stole the Mona Lisa one. Which the Agatha Christie one's supposed to be their hardest one they have, and yeah, we finished that with 10 minutes left.
it's because you and your family are all are genetically gifted,
I
and
mean, my kids are both really smart, and Tara's pretty smart, and I get by. I will
you're,
say
you're no dummy.
I'm yeah, I'm good at troubleshooting and and problem solving.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, I never counted you as like my dumb friend. So, I mean, if that, I always saw you, always saw you as intellectually
I was
equal, and just maybe not curiosity equal. I was into, it's funny when we spent time together on our two trips that we've done now, it was really fun to hang out with you to find out that you're still the same person. I mean, even though we podcasted basically every week for like 2.5 years, just hanging out with you. I remember I'd ask you a question of like remind me what kind of books do you like to read? You're like sci-fi, and I'm like, oh shit, of course, you've always liked sci-fi books. That's what you like. Like, why would I think that you would like anything different? Because I remember I'd be like, oh, okay, I'll try and read Asimov or something. Or I like sci-fi a little bit, but I've always been, I've been more like nonfiction, history, true crime, like all sort, my avenue. But it was fun. Like, or we went to eat at Painted, was it the Painted Desert when we
oh the little cafe there,
cafe or whatever, and you're like hot dog with ketchup, you know.
mustard.
No, with mustard, I'm sorry. And barbecue chips. And I was like, of course, like it was all come back, like, of course, like that was the options. Like I learned that when I was at your house that if I was okay with a hot dog and barbecue chips, then I would never be hungry. So it was fine because that's what was on Daniel's menu.
I
Uh
thought you were going to say mention the fact that I was annoyed at the cabling in that place
oh
for the
well,
TV.
yeah, well that goes without saying. Yeah. Yeah, if you watch any Fresh Hot Trips, which I feel like it's been a long time, we should do a Fresh Hot Trips,
Yeah,
even if Jeff's girlfriend doesn't like it. I had fun doing it. So
yeah. Well, I
uh
spent the last year basically doing that. So
yeah, doing actual Fresh Hot Trips.
yeah,
Uh
I've been doing pretty local. I'm going to go. I've got my next few trips. I'm actually working on editing Mammoth Cave, which I had started last summer, but my 360 camera didn't do well enough in the cave, so I brought better cameras and shot. I did another tour and went camping there by myself the day after my birthday. Because
oh, okay.
my birthday was my last day at my other job, so I had 3 days off after I had basically 3 days off plus a weekend. So I went camping by myself up at Mammoth Caves National Park, and
Daniel's fine spending time alone. He enjoys
yeah,
it. Yeah. He laughs at his own jokes. So, I mean,
I do. I enjoy. Had the campfire there, and enjoyed that.
did you do
Thankfully,
Mad Libs with yourself?
I did not.
Oh, that would have been
Um,
funny. You're giggling, waiting to read out your own answers. That would be hilarious, funny. I
but
almost said the F word. I didn't want to. I still want a compilation of you and I doing Mad Libs.
oh
We
yeah,
we went camping twice, and giggled like little kids. I literally hadn't giggled like that probably since you and I were doing Mad Libs when we were 14 years old, like just laughing hysterically over just dumb things.
Oh, they were too. I mean, it's like, I mean, Mad Libs are always funny.
I have a knack for getting a string of words, regardless of the topic, a string of words together that will make things as ridiculous and maybe believe it or not, inappropriate. I don't even go balls out with you. I go rated R. That's it. Like PG-13, maybe a little R occasionally.
I'd say you're probably more R. Couple of NC-17s.
What's a pocket? Anyway, um, Daniel drinks his drink. Never mind. I got this for $5 at the Family Dollar. After watching the rest of the Star Wars things, I felt like I needed a little Grogu to hang out on my desk next to my wooden duck and then my little Karen gnomes that golf. So I've added to I've been trying to do away with clutter in my house because I had found that for a handful of years when I was living alone, I would just be buying things I didn't need all the time, just because it gave me a dopamine rush and something to do. And I have since gotten much better. If I buy books, I read them and then I donate them when I'm done. I have maybe 30 books that I've kept, but I used to have hundreds of books. So I've now gotten to the point where I'm like, empty out your closet, empty out your stuff, go drive
Yeah,
over and donate it. You don't need this stuff. You don't need it.
yeah. I have a collection of. I mean, I have 60 hardback Star Wars books.
No, yeah.
Uh, with and like 8 or 9 of them are now signed.
Oh, nice.
But so I mean, obviously, I'm never going to get rid of the Star Wars books. And then I've
Right.
got, other than that, I mean, I've got my collection. My Isaac Asimov are the only other ones because some of those are hard to find now. It took me years. There was 3 books that they're not the best ones, is why, but there were 3 in the Empire. They're called the Empire series that were hard to find. It took me years to find all of them. So I'm
Are there
happy to
any
have
that
them.
you're missing? Because I literally
No,
go to
I think I've
bookstores
read every single
a couple
non or
times
every single fiction
a
book
week.
that Isaac Asimov has written.
Cool.
Now
All
he's
right.
written over 500 books, most of them nonfiction.
Ah, I didn't know that. I know he was
Yeah,
very prolific. I didn't know he was a nonfiction.
yeah.
Have you The Cosmos by Carl Sagan? That seems like a good one, but that's nonfiction about, well, I don't know. To me it's just as fiction as it is nonfiction. If we haven't been past the moon, then I don't know how much you know about the entire cosmos. I think it's a lot of guessing. Uh
It is a
just
lot of
like
guessing.
just like most physics. No, it's a quark. What is a quark? Well, you can't see it, but it's a thing that we made up in order to
Explain,
explain
mathematically
explain
explain,
the
basically to
the dark
fix our equation.
the dark space in between the things that we think are there. We had to explain that, so therefore particle physics exists, quantum physics exists. I'm like, Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard, do you know who he is? The
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, he was the first roadie on Iron Man.
Right, right. Do you know about him being kind of a mathematical genius and kind of a physicist? Um,
I've seen him on a few things recently. He's talking about that kind of stuff. I wasn't sure if he was insane or if he was actually smart.
well, he's got 97 patents and being optioned by the government, military, and others, and all these huge companies. He actually has the patent on virtual reality,
What kind of virtual reality?
like from visual to physical to projection to feedback to in response. Um, that was like 18, 20 years ago that he actually had the patent to explain how you would do VR in a room. And so all the companies that have used it, including Meta, all of them actually are cited as using his patent um, to build all their things from. And because he's the patent owner, he didn't get money from them because he didn't get an international patent because it was something like $250,000 a year to have an international patent on it. But he can basically use any of the technology that has been created off his patent without having any patent issues because of that. I would highly recommend I would highly recommend his Joe Rogan interview.
I saw a little bit of it.
Pretty remarkable. Pretty remarkable. Hard to keep up with at points. I've actually read through his book after listening to some of his lectures and explaining. He's basically gives an explanation of the universe and how it's put together without omitting God. Um,
Hmm.
but basically showing that quantum and particle physics is all garbage, is based on the wrong math. And he's also now invented things that utilize his understanding of the physical world and elements and frequency and electricity and everything else, that have kind of proven that he's onto something clearly. Now, people are going to want to say no because you can't have somebody come out and say you have gravity wrong and 1 times 1 is not 1 times 1 is 2, and here's why. You can't multiply something by something and get the same thing, because in order to multiply is to change. And he explains it all, and then shows because of Pythagorean theorem and because of Euclidean geometry, because of the Catholic Church basically insisting that that Euclidean is acceptable, the acceptable form of it, then basically everything has just been off enough. And all the technology that we've gathered has been by basically ignoring those two rules and then understanding the connection between everything is electrical. Interesting, fascinating, but I don't know. It's to me, it's like Graham Hancock. Do you know who Graham Hancock is?
No.
He's Fingerprints of the Gods. He was actually a journalist. He's got a bunch of books that basically look at ancient history from the perspective that there has been other advanced civilizations on Earth that have gone through the deluge, that have basically there's been something that's wiped us out and we've started over. He came out in the early 90s. He's literally a journalist who was just researching archaeology and history, and then started asking questions. I mean, like, why is it that all these cultures have the same the same foundation and the same tale, and they all have the flood, and they all have a white godlike being that gave them all the technology that they needed. Like, he just started questioning those things that kind of tie them together. Of course, classic archaeologists and anthropologists want to tell him that he's nuts, but as time goes on, they're finding more and more things. All of a sudden, you have fossils they're like, well, we think people might have been here 100 million years ago. We're finding fossil record that's saying that. Like, wait, you can't have fossil record of human beings back 100 million years. That completely messes up your timeline. You used to go back 10,000, and then you went back 100,000, and then you went back 200,000, and then they're like, oh. So, anyway, interesting stuff. I like people who think outside the box. Doesn't mean I know whether or not it's true or not, but I like to think about it. So there you go. That's my pitch. If anybody wants to have their brain challenge on that stuff.
I've been on as far as books, I've been on a Dean Koontz. Uh,
I like Dean Koontz for specifically his Odd Thomas series.
I'm just now starting Autonomous. I'm about, yeah, I'm
Love it. Love
you
it.
just liked it because of Elvis's ghost.
I mean, that's pretty cool. Pico Mundo and Elvis's Ghost. Yeah.
Um,
They made a movie.
yeah, I've seen. It's funny because as I've been listening to it, I listened to it while I'm driving.
Yeah.
I got because now that I'm going to be in my car a lot, I renewed my Audible.
Nice.
Um, but I realized that I'm like, oh, I've seen clips of the like the very opening scene where he's seeing the mud whatever the ghoulish type things.
Yeah, I forget what they're called.
Good
Um,
Modocs.
Botox, the Botox.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. I was like, it's Bodok because I kept thinking it was like Modok, which is the bad guy from Ant-Man.
No, I don't know that, but I believe you.
Um,
The guy who played him, Anton Yeltsin, who played Odd Thomas in that show, also played was he Chekhov?
yeah, it was Chekhov, and then he
And
died.
then and he died, yeah, getting groceries out of his Mercedes. It rolled back and crushed him
It's
between
crazy.
his fence and the bumper. Sad, but
Yeah,
I think the Odd Thomas stories were great, and I think it played well in a movie too. And I think
yeah. I'm
that
looking forward to watching the movie after I. Tara actually read the book, and then she really liked it. Although she's doesn't think she'll. It was a little um, too much for her as far as like the evilness parts. She didn't like a whole lot.
you're right. She don't she
And
don't
that's
like
the that's the thing. I mean,
she don't like the
Dean
demons on
Koontz,
the earth doing bad things.
yeah, Dean Koontz has a very strong good versus evil, but the evil can be really sick and
Yeah.
evil.
Mhm.
The last book of his I finished was The Good Guy.
What's that about?
Basically, this guy's in a bar, and a guy mistakes him for a hitman and gives him money to pay off uh, to pay for this job. And then when the actual hitman shows up, he pretends to be the guy. He says, "Oh, I changed my mind. I don't want them dead." And then tries to pulls out, but then goes and basically finds the girl that he's going to kill, and then protects her because in the guy figures out pretty quickly that he was lying to her, and he's like, why, or lying to him, because why would he suddenly call off the hit, this kind of stuff.
The jittery man who sits next to him tonight has mistaken Tim for someone very different and passes to him a manila envelope full of cash. 10,000 now, and you get the rest when she's gone. Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
it's a good one. um Other series I've been doing, of course, Timothy Zahn is always one of my favorites, and he started the series, the Icarus job, or the Icarus, no, what was the first one called? Icarus Project. It came out like 20 years ago, and then the last few years he's been continuing that. I think there's two books for it coming out this year, so I'm excited about that.
I keep telling myself like I've got like 3 credits with Audible, and none of the Star Wars ones are included in my membership. So
Yeah,
I was thinking about doing Timothy Zahn's. Should I do the Thrawn trilogy? What should I listen to?
I mean, you read? Did you read all of them?
I read Out of the Empire in 1991 or whatever it was that you gave me
I
that
would
book.
probably, yeah, I would if you hadn't read the
But
rest of those,
it's
I'd probably
been
read those.
30 years, 30
Yeah,
years.
I'd probably listen to those.
I would barely remember anything. It was a long
Yeah,
time ago.
especially if you didn't even finish the second two.
Never. No. So in what order does it go in? Is it
Heir to
Heir
the
to the
Empire,
Empire
Dark Force Rising, Last Command.
and then Last Command?
Yeah,
Okay. And then he also does Thrawn
yeah.
Alliance.
There's two different Thrawn trilogies. There's the picture up above where he was holding books. There's that one, which is actually Thrawn's a story before he gets into the Star Wars part of the universe, into the Empire's part of the universe.
Okay.
Well, I really enjoyed those, but they're basically, I mean, the great thing about Thrawn is he's not a bad guy. He's Everything he does is in trying to protect his own people, and
Okay.
he actually just sided with the Empire because they seem to be the best way to protect uh, his people.
Oh, interesting.
Um,
So
so then the other
tell me
trilogy
tell me where
is,
these are in the timeline. Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, Last Command.
well, I
Where
mean, basically they're where we're at now with after Ahsoka. There's a movie coming out, and the next movie coming out is called Heir to the Empire.
oh, is it?
Yeah, I don't know how much they're going to um, use exactly, but I mean,
How much
you
canon?
saw Ahsoka. It set up Thrawn coming back to the
Yeah,
galaxy,
I saw that. Yeah. What's that?
but obviously they're not going to put CGI versions of Han, Luke, and Leia in there.
Well, you say obviously not, but I mean they actually absolutely could if they wanted to.
They could. I don't think that would. I don't think it would sell very well. And I don't think Harrison Ford or Mark Hamill would necessarily be up for it.
Up for having themselves licensed as younger people.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
I
You
mean,
offer you
obviously Mark
offer
Hamill has already, but
right. You offer them another 20 million bucks, you'd be surprised what they might do. I mean, they're in
that's
70s and
true.
80s. I'd be like, yeah, whatever. I see. I heard that Harrison Ford thought he was fascinated with how they made him young for the Indiana Jones movie, and that he was like, he didn't care. Like they don't have to kill off the. I maybe I misunderstood, but I believe what I read was that he was for them continuing that character if they can digitize it. He had no problem with them using his likeness in order to do it.
Wow.
So I don't know. That'd be interesting. You all you need is a body double that was about their size and shape, and
Well,
then
and it works best if you have a face and hair that matches.
right, okay, yeah,
So the general facial shape, because it does still map it onto the face.
right.
So if it's not perfect, it will look like them, but not perfect.
Who was the young guy who played Harrison Ford in that movie? Oh, I
In
remember.
Solo. Oh no, 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 the other guy. I don't
Yeah,
can't remember.
he
I can't
played the younger.
remember.
But
Yeah,
we were looking at him. We he played the younger version of him, and
yeah.
we were like weird, like. And here's the thing with technology the way it is, you could scan you could scan mugshots of the world. Unfortunately, we act like we don't think that our pictures are out there, but they can literally have a computer go look for someone who looks like Harrison Ford when he was 40. There you go. There you go. Hey, you want can you act? I mean, it's like you when you realize R2D2 and Chewbacca and Darth Vader what they piped in their voices later.
I mean, ADR is always done in movies. Doesn't even matter. I mean, every single movie you see,
Oh,
the
right,
people
right,
overdub their voices.
right. But I mean, like it wasn't even their voices, not just dubbing.
Yeah.
It was somebody else doing the voice for them,
Well, and
and
Darth Maul,
we
and
believed it the whole time. Jar Jar Binks, yeah, all of them.
I mean, but Darth Maul, he was an actual actor on screen, and his wasn't his voice in the
Right,
wasn't Ray Park's voice.
right. So, could be interesting. I decided to do some ketosis diet or eating a couple weeks ago because I've done some things. I did a potato diet for 2 weeks. I lost like 15 pounds. Then I quit eating potatoes only, and then I gained like 15 pounds back. It's amazing how that works, right?
Yeah.
So I decided to be strict. I just did carnivore only for a week. Lost a few pounds. It was fine. Then
The
kept on.
Noom actually is the if you follow the Noom process, it's actually the nice thing about it is it doesn't disallow any food. It
Mm,
just basically has you limit. It gives
yeah.
you balance. It basically teaches you balance.
So you can do
Um,
Weight Watchers.
well, the thing about Noom is it's not really a diet. It's basically it's trying to teach you how to eat well all
Eat
the time.
with
And
where appropriate caloric restriction. Don't
right, well,
over.
no, it's not even caloric restriction. It's just that
No.
the whole thing's based off of how much water is in food. The more water is in a piece of food, that you can eat all you want of it.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
the more dense a food is, then you stay away from it more. So, but it's not that you don't disallow it. You don't say,
Hmm.
"Oh, I can't eat this." You just say, "Oh, I can have a couple bites of this."
There's a lot of water in ice cream. So
Well, I mean, in a Slurpee.
yeah, yeah. That ice cream has been my biggest downfall.
Oh, me too. I'm
Um,
We have a Dairy Queen. I love getting a dipped cone from Dairy Queen.
I can't eat cones, but thanks for bragging, asshole.
Well, you
That
just said you're the one that's an ice cream.
So anyway, what I was gonna say was I've been doing it for like a month or so ish, and But like I wasn't, I want to lose weight like 5 pounds a week. Like I'm because I'm stupid. I just assume I have the same metabolism I did when I was 30, and I can just like, oh, I'll just stop drinking soda and I'll lose 40 pounds. It doesn't work that way when you're 50. Your metabolism is definitely built differently. So even being on a very strict, like 1400 calories a day with just meat and vegetables, no sugar, starches of any kind. I was losing, what do they say? A pound and a half a week, 2 pounds a week is
A
healthy.
pound and a half to two, yeah.
Yeah, right. So I was mad because I was only losing that amount. So Rebecca pointed out to me one day, and she said, "Well, you have a gym membership. You know, you could go do that." And then I was like, I felt shame for about 12 hours because I'm like, she's right. I haven't gone to the gym in 2 months. Um, so then I didn't tell her, and I just started going. I'm like, I'm not telling. I'm not posting shit on the Resoluters site. I don't need you guys to clap for me. So anyway, so I've gone every day now for the last 13 days, every day, cardio, free weights, alternate weights. Sometimes we just do legs, squats, stuff like that. But I do at least 40 minutes of cardio because it's actually good for my heart. In order to live longer and not have heart failure again, I have to keep doing cardio. And strangely, as soon as I started exercising, the weight started coming off faster. So I'm down like 22 pounds. I know it's hard to tell because I'm still a fat boy, but you know, when your third number starts changing every week and a half, dink, dink, you're like, yay, I'm on a roll instead of just a big jelly roll.
Instead of eating a roll.
Instead of eating a roll. So I was like, yeah, apparently if I do intermittent fasting just out of habit, you know, I get hungry in the afternoon, so I eat in the afternoon for like 3 hours. And then I'm fine. And that's been actually really convenient. Now, the other morning I got hungry. I was hungry at like 10 o'clock in the morning, so I made a couple eggs and some sausage and had eggs and sausage, and I was fine. You know, like I'm not gonna starve myself if I'm feeling like I'm really famished.
Yeah.
Uh, because I also work out on an empty stomach too. So I use those ketosis sticks. You know what those ketone sticks are?
No.
Basically, they're used for people who are diabetic, so you can check your urine to see if your liver is making ketones. If your livers are making ketones, if you're diabetic, that means that your body, your blood sugar is jacked, and your body's processing. It's in glycolysis. It's processing fat to turn your fat stores into sugar in order to fuel your body. If you're diabetic, ketones are bad. If you're dieting, ketones are your indicator that you're not intaking sugar and starches and that your body's using your stored fat for your sugar. So I pee on my stick and it goes from kind of well, nothing happens to all the way to dark purple. And like the dark purple, it means that like your liver's really converting fat faster. So sometimes I'll have some sugar-free Jello and like a tablespoon of like plain Greek yogurt because I'm like I need something sweet and creamy, and I'll eat some of that, and then like I'll wait a half hour and I'll go pee on the stick because I'm like, oh no, it's like the color's gonna go away because if you get sugar and starch and stuff, then your body goes and it stops processing your fat because if you're putting sugar in that it'll just happily use that. But yeah, it's pretty funny because I've had these days where like I'm like, I'm gonna take my diuretic just so I can pee more, so I can pee on my stick just to see that I'm still losing weight. It's like the indicator.
I
Look, Hannah, look,
in
my
2020
stick's
I did
purple.
P90X3, which is just a 30-minute workout, and I was doing it 5 days a week, and
I
I
used to
lost
drink beer watching that.
20 pounds. I lost 20 pounds in 11 weeks.
It's good. It's
And
good.
then I started working again. That was during COVID, so I had nothing else to do. I think the new job I should, because I should be getting home around 4 o'clock most days, unless I just have a job that's out. It has me out longer than that. So uh, there's no reason for me not to just stop at the gym and work out before I get home. Especially now that my son has his driver's license, my daughter will have hers in a couple weeks. Um, so that's crazy. I gotta get me a new vehicle so that they have a vehicle to drive.
Give me one sec.
Nope.
So at the end of the week, I'm going to, okay, so Tuesday, hey, Hannah, Haley, Hunter, Lisa, and her new dude, my family's new family, they're going to Florida for 8 days. And I'm like, what? I'm not invited? I don't understand. So they're going to Florida. And then on the 18th, Rebecca and her kids are going to Florida for a week. So I'm like, well, I'm not invited there either. You ever have those moments where you feel sad? Like
Well,
you,
you're going without them this fall, so
or, but like I've got the two the two groups of people that I care about the most are going on separate
yeah,
vacations to another state, and I'm not invited. Um, those are those moments where I feel a little bit sad that my life is in a limbo place right now. Because I am in a limbo place. I don't have a group. I'm
yeah,
I'm vacillate between two. Like it's not neither one is like my full-time family. It's kind of weird, but
yeah.
I'm not depressed about it. I just kind of like it sounds very woe is me to say it out loud. All right, everybody, have fun on your summer vacations. Okay, I'll just be here with it. Oh, you want me to watch your pets for you, Lisa? Yeah, sure. Yeah. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna spend a 3-day weekend or 4-day weekend. I'm gonna go, I think on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm gonna drive out and see Rebecca for 4 days. Um, so I had to find somebody who used to watch our animals back when Lisa and I were married years ago, convincing her to stay here with my dog and the bird and a couple of fish. I tried to get her to do like a 10-day stretch, but she was kind of like, I said, okay, how about this? How about you do like Thursday to Sunday, this time, and then if it wasn't is not too bad, then we can plan for a longer trip where I can actually go see my mother also, because or maybe by then, no, my kids will be done with vacation. I can have one of my kids stay here. Hunter doesn't have a job. He should just stay here and take care of my stuff. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so Tio, um,
Yeah, just remind them that you get to go and probably not have to pay much to get there or to be there.
oh, I mean, they don't care. You know how much money I pay my ex, so
That's true.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Enjoy Disney. It's on. Hey, it's on me.
Hey, enjoy. I got you. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we were gonna cancel the child support because I have the only minor child that has been lived with me full time. And the other two are adults that live with her still. And I was like, I probably didn't need to be paying you that. But I'm even nice enough. I said, you know what? Because she's a teacher, she's a special needs teacher. I said, this is your summer break. Why don't we wait until you're going back to work and then we can change it then. That's how nice I am. I just want you to know that. I literally was like, hey, it's already been Hunter's already 21 and a half. Like it's already been this long. So get through summer so you don't have to stress about money, and then we'll go to the course and we'll take care of it then. She's like, okay. I just wanted to brag that I'm not an asshole, believe it or not. I can be a lot of things, but I'm not that guy. I want to share a couple of I don't know if Jeff's gonna pop in, but can I share a couple of things with you?
Sure.
All right. Um,
Well, that's a bad day.
yeah, it looks like cans. Are they soda cans or?
Yeah, they must be. They have like they all look like gold.
Yeah.
They don't explode though.
So
Interesting.
that's a bad day.
Yeah.
So you had a bad day. I think I have. Oh, what do you think about people who are little terrorists destroying historic paintings? Spray painting them and
Oh,
cutting.
because they care about the environment.
Yeah, or this is a pro-Palestinian person in this next clip. Do you think like me that like they should just be shot on on spot? Just shoot them.
Yeah, probably.
You're
Oh
no good.
wow.
Sorry about the lag. My computer is slow as F. Look at that.
How does that? I mean, what I understand is, what are you trying to say, that you're an idiot?
Yeah, because yeah,
What does that
because of
actually get
my
across?
my political feelings, I must destroy things of value. I'm going to destroy your history for my idea of a future. Punch the guard, win a stupid prize. Let's check this one. Off, please. Off, please. Boom.
Whoa,
That's nice. Guess what? That guard knows how to do a roundhouse kick.
pretty good one.
Yeah. Yeah, you might want to be careful. I like Reddit. Reddit's fun. All right. Stop asking me to sign in. Just let me play these things. Guy crashes after swinging side to side. I love these. Let's see if I can pause. Let's win stupid prizes. Sliding on the roof. That's good times. I love that.
Yeah,
Uh, I watch these things and I think, I have as a reckless and impulsive youth, and sometimes impulsive adult, have done all sorts of crazy things. But I can always find people who've done dumber things than me, and that makes me happy. Like I can feel like at least I'm not that dumb. Could have been dumber. So we won't go too long. I know it's late for you. I wanted to ask you some I, I wanted to ask you some, I think was Star Wars character quiz. So I realize if I'm watching a Star Wars show and I have the captions on, then I realize that those characters that I wouldn't have known otherwise, not since I was a kid, and that we got Mattel characters that um had the name on the package. I
yeah,
realized it's so many characters, they have these names. And then and it and I was thinking, wow, that's crazy. That's I don't know, I forget what it's called. Chewbacca is gonna eat roasted bird, and then the cute little birds are giving him a guilt trip around the fire because he's about to eat
yeah.
it.
Last
What are
Jedi.
those things? What are those things called?
Oh geez. Um,
They're called like a porg or
Porg.
something.
Yeah, Porg.
Porg. Because the only way I know again is the closed captions on it. It goes like porg. Oh, otherwise I wouldn't know. So I thought maybe I would ask you some character questions,
All right.
and we can at least get a little authentic Dork Squad here. Character home planets. Uh, Not which character are you? I don't want that. No, 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 no. Let's do Star Wars character trivia. Now I am thinking about watching the Clone Wars and then Bad Batch. Or is that the chronological
Yeah,
order?
yeah. Bad Batch just finished, and it was a good show.
All right. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have some time between, now and Thursday and the next few days with no kid here and uh nobody to love me except for my dog and a parakeet. Um,
Well, the dog's substantial. The parakeet less so.
yeah, we just got the parakeet. It's a little black and white parakeet. I named it Pepper, but it was for now she wants an albino that she can name Salt. So I thought that was cute. Which I don't know what the character you are. No, no. How about not quiz? How about trivia? There we go. Guess that Star Wars character. Let's see if that works. Star Wars character, obscure characters and quotes. Let's see if this works. It's on Wikipedia. Let's see if this has any value. Um, no, that's kind of weird. I don't like this. Star Wars quotes, Star Wars characters. There we go. How about this one? I don't know if there's answers on here. So
Well,
hell,
good. You want to know if I'm wrong?
yeah. Well, okay. Then there's clues. I think we'll be able to get most of them. Twin who grew up on Tatooine.
Ooh, that's hard, Luke.
Luke, yes. I'm. Oh, is there a start quiz that this is? Let me see. Enter character here. 028. Okay. So Luke, twin who grew up on Alderaan.
Yeah. I mean,
Emperor
I imagine there's other twins that both grew up on Tatooine and Alderaan. I don't think they're the
Emperor's.
only twins.
We got to go. We got a timer. 4.5 minutes.
Oh,
Emperor's final Sith apprentice.
Darth Vader.
Protocol droid.
Well, probably they want C3PO.
D3PO. Oh, three. How about not PO?
C dash 3PO.
I put C390.
That was wrong.
Millennium Falcon pilot.
I mean, which era? Probably they want Han Solo though.
Solo. Millennium Falcon co-pilot.
Chewbacca.
Vertically challenged Jedi.
Yoda.
Head of Cloud City.
Lando.
So far, it's not hard. Also
No.
known as Ben.
Obi-Wan.
Chancellor who's voted out.
Valorum.
So how do you spell Valorum? VEL.
VAL or ORUM.
Lorum. There we go. Chancellor who's voted in.
Palpatine.
Palpatine. Commander of Death Star.
Grand Moff Tarkin.
Grand Moff Tarkin. I knew that one.
Although if you before he
Go
was
for it.
there was Krennic was in charge of
Admiral of Rebel Fleet.
Akbar.
Queen of Naboo.
Padme Amidala.
Amida.
Again, that's of course that's only episode one. There's two other queens in episodes 2 and 3.
Oh,
Well, maybe it might be the same queen in 2 and 3. You don't
hot
see
gangster. Jabba.
Jabba.
Uh, Sith apprentice with weird makeup.
I guess Darth Maul, because I don't think Dooku's makeup was all weird.
Sith apprentice with respectability.
Probably Dooku.
DUKOOKU.
Dooku.
Dooku. Bounty hunter.
IG-88, Zuckus, Forlom, Boba Fett is probably who they want.
Boba Fett. Bounty hunter's father.
Jango Fett. So yeah, there we go.
Django. Bounty hunter killed in the cantina.
Burrito.
Greedo. Hot gangster's right hand man.
Bib Fortuna.
Bib Fortuna. Jedi who discovers the chosen one.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qui-Gon. Droid that's a good mechanic.
R2D2. Or BB-8.
R2D2. Evil pod racer.
Sebulba.
Imperial general who led attack on Hoth.
Oh, it starts with an O. No, he got killed at the beginning of that. So I guess you're in charge. Can't think of his name. I can see his face.
We got 1 minute left and 5 questions.
No, skip it for now.
Uh,
Mahdi? No. What is it?
it's not. Uh, uh,
No, because that guy died. They went through generals pretty quickly in Empire
damn it!
Strikes
It's not letting
Back.
me. Okay, Ewok who helps the princess.
Uh, Wicket.
Wicket, friendly but clumsy Gungan.
Jar Jar.
Cyborg head of the separatist droid army.
Um, well, that's just my brain farting right there. Of course, you know I've been training the way of
That
the Jedi. I can't
that
think of
one
his
be
name.
that one becomes hard. It's the last
It
one.
that's not even a hard question.
No,
It just general. I just my brain farting completely is all it is. I can see him. I can
General Dookie.
yeah.
All right, we got 86%. General Maximilian Veers.
Veers, General Veers, yeah.
Wicket, Jar Jar, and General Grievous.
Grievous, yeah. See,
Oh,
that
Grievous.
Grievous was sticking me off because I was just complete brain fart.
All right, not bad. Not bad. Let's see. The ones that people don't get are what? Correct and yours. We got
General
0.
Veers, prepare your men.
Ewoks, it says only 25% get it right. And for Wicket, and that's weird. And General Maximilian Veers, 14% get that right. General Grievous, only 49% get that right. That's interesting.
Hmm.
All right. So rock and roll. What is this? Let's just start quiz. Name the characters who have been on screen the most in the 9 Star Wars episodes.
R2D2 and C3PO.
162 minutes.
And they're in all the movies except for
So
Solo.
who do you want? R2 or C3PO?
R2 is on there more.
R2D2. 2. No, it gives me nope. Let's see. C3PO. He's 70 minutes. So just give me characters and then
Characters on screen the most. Are we talking, is it all movies?
83 minutes for Han Solo, 162 minutes. Who's on there the most?
Well, it's got to be Luke if we're going that. If Han Solo's at the, it's just doing original trilogy. Okay,
Luke
so
has 132 minutes. There's somebody on more than Luke. Darth Vader, 162 minutes. He's the most.
he's only in the original movie for 8 minutes.
Says by screen time. That's crazy.
I have trouble believing he's in the movie that much.
So Anakin Skywalker, go. No, already guessed. Oh, they include Darth Vader and Anakin together.
Oh, we'll see that. You can't do that
Obi-Wan is
because
115 minutes. Leia is 77 minutes. Someone's at 128 minutes. We got goes in order: Darth, Luke, blank, Obi-Wan, Han, Princess Leia, blank, blank, C3PO, blank, R2D2.
well, Yoda's going to be in there quite a bit.
Yoda is 44 minutes.
Oh, Palpatine.
Palpatine's 46 minutes, 49 minutes. I wonder who's 128 minutes. We have Leia, Solo, Luke, Obi-Wan,
Chewbacca.
Chewbacca. He's 59 minutes. He's between the droids. Same as R2D2. Who the hell's 128 minutes?
He's got to be somebody in both
Padme is
trilogies.
72 minutes. Darth Sidious. Oh, already got
Yeah,
Palpatine.
that's Palpatine. Yeah.
Grievous. General Grievous. Who the hell else? Yoda, Greedo.
No.
No. Give me some main characters.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think who could be on screen for that much because, like I said, it's got to be somebody that's in both series.
Right. This is actually a good test, actually. This is what we got.
Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker.
We got Anakin. We got uh
Well, Lando. We got Lando's going to be on there.
Lando, 17 minutes. Qui-Gon, 36 minutes.
Um,
Jar Jar,
12 minutes. I'd say Boba Fett's on there for 12 minutes.
Boba Fett. Boba Fett. No,
Boba. Oh,
I did that. Oh, all right.
oh, Ray. See, that's.
Okay. Well, they
I
said
wasn't. It
they
wasn't.
said 9 movies. Oh, that's
I
why.
did say 9 movies. Okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense that Ray would.
Ray, Finn. So we missed Poe, Kylo, BB-8, Rose, Tico.
Basically, we didn't. Other than Mace Windu and Count Dooku, we just didn't do new trilogy.
Interesting. And look, this is the order of where
It's because everyone's thinking the same way we were.
Yep. Interesting. I like that. This is pretty tricky. Let's see if they have another one, and then we'll wrap up and say goodnight. Jet Punk quizzes, is that what this is called? Come on. Twin. What happened? Star Wars quizzes. Star Wars or Star Trek? By picture, timeline. What do you want to do? Timeline, standard trivia, name the Star Wars movies. We know that. Star Wars planets.
Let's do the timeline.
Uh,
Or what did you say? I don't see it now. Did you
wait,
say timeline? Or did you say screen?
I thought I did. Quotes, original trilogy,
Let's do
screen
quotes. I'm good. I think I can usually do quotes.
trivia. I thought I saw one.
I think you said. I think it was screen time because that was about where
Oh,
you
screen
said it.
time. So I
Yeah.
just do. What do you want to do?
Let's do the quotes.
Oh, there we go. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Starting with number one.
Galaxy.
All right. Galaxy. I've
Bad
got
feeling. Only hope.
only hope.
No moon.
That's no moon. That's a space station.
Force.
The force be with you.
Faith.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Droids.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
Try.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Short.
Aren't you a little stinky for a stormtrooper?
Father.
I am your father.
Look as good.
Years you reach.
Look as good.
Look as good. You will not.
Parsecs.
You never 12 parsecs.
Disturbance.
I felt a great disturbance. It's a
Trap.
trap.
Fish.
There's always a bigger Oh yeah, fish. Never tell me the
Odds.
odds. I am blank.
Altering.
I'm fucking.
I don't alter it any further.
We didn't get it. Oh, we got it. Oh, yay, we got it. Yay! Did we get it?
Yeah.
Yes. Alter, alter. Nice. What do people screw up on? Look is good. They don't get that. Altering the deal. They don't get that. Bigger fish. They don't get that. Millennium Falcon Part 12 parsecs.
I'm
Uh,
actually surprised that there's that many. I would think if you're taking that quiz, most of those you would get.
you would think. You would think. That was fun. I like this. Jetpunk.com. I'll have to keep this for future use.
Yeah.
You want to do another? Or you want to crash?
No, let's crash. I gotta get going towards bed and stuff.
Yep, no problem. No more
Although I
you
don't have to get
my
up as early
winky.
anymore.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I basically get up at 7 now instead of 5:30.
Nice. My college starts at 8 a.m. Eastern time, which is 5 a.m. my time. But usually I can just use my phone from bed for the first 2 hours, which is kind of nice. So, and since it's summertime, I don't have to take a kid to school. So usually it's waking the kid up at 6:30, getting the truck by 7. I get to save some gas. I get to put the mileage on my truck that's commensurate to working from home instead of the 40 miles a day that I put on there because my kid goes to school 9 miles away. But then I'll jack that up by putting 1,500 miles on it at the end of the week anyway. So, but it's a worthy cause.
I tell you what, I'm very concerned about the acolyte starting this week.
Why is that?
There's been several things where they're talking about the girl power of the show, which I don't. If you don't talk about it, if it's not if it's just good characters, I don't care.
Right.
But if you're talking about it, it means your characters only that's their only trait.
Yes. Yeah. I did see some complaints out on the webs
But
about that.
then the
Like, let's fire Gina Carano and make believe like she got hired on. I didn't. I never saw that happen. I just knew Gina Carano got fired for,
well over it was a
having
dumb
a
quote. They proved her right because all she said was the way people were acting is the same way uh, people acted in Nazi Germany, where they would turn their neighbors in, and then they turned her in
then they turned
basically.
her in. Yeah.
But the director um, said the last person you want to take influence from is George Lucas. It's like you're doing a Star Wars show. It's the first person you should take it.
No, no, see, he's a white male boomer colonialist, so he's bad news.
So I
If Star
the
Wars isn't about the origin of the trans lesbian disabled Jedi, then you are missing the whole point of how they got there.
so yeah, I'm going to give it a chance, but one, I'm not usually a fan of the bad guy being the protagonist of the show anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
Here's the problem with the woke stuff. They've lost a lot of money doing it. Even Pride Month has been dialed back a little bit. They're not shoving it down everybody's throat. Even Target said they lost billions of dollars. They're not going to put it all out in front for everybody or have it at all stores.
I'm glad I sold my Disney stock when I did.
Because it kept continued to tank.
Well, no, so I bought it at $92. It got as low as 80. It went as high as 124 right before the votes went in when the activist guy. I think that most of the stock market thought this activist guy was going to get it on the board and fix Disney.
Mm,
I actually, not that my votes would have counted because I had 4 stocks, but I was unsure of what his motivations were because he never really put anything out there, and I felt like he was going to try to break Disney apart in different parts, which maybe wouldn't be so bad. Um, but I wasn't sure what his motivations were, so I wouldn't have voted. Again, wouldn't have mattered if I did or not.
right.
Um, but as soon as he failed, the stock started going back down again. I sold it at 115, and it's at 102 right now. So So I saved, $60 by selling it when I did.
Yeah, there you go. See, the part that I feel like they keep forgetting is that I understand they're getting a bunch of postmodernist, communist kids out of college who have all been indoctrinated with this certain idea of you hate America and you hate men and you hate straight men. And I understand where the pollution comes from. But you're indoctrinating the children of the people with the money who pay for your stuff is dumb and dangerous because the kids don't have the money, the parents do.
Yeah. And
And those of us with the buying dollars, we're only 50. You're going to be contending with us. I mean, unless your vaccines prove to be correct, then, but 25% of us for the next 30 years. Um, are you sure this is what you want to try and change all of this now? Does it seem like a good
yeah,
idea?
especially when you consider the fact that like millennials and younger can't even afford to buy houses and stuff
Right.
and can't
Right.
afford, and you're not going to spend $160 to go to Disney
For the ticket.
for one ticket.
Yeah, $160 is $500 for one person for that day.
Oh yeah,
So,
it's easily, that's it. You could do it for 250,
okay. Assuming you live there.
assuming you live there.
Right. Right. But yeah, we know, right? So we know how that goes. Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot. It's just like football. I was talking to a guy at the lake the other day. I go fishing every weekend now. Finally caught a fish yesterday, and that was exciting. It took 5 weeks to catch a fish. But not that I wasn't good at it, just the fish weren't liking my
Right.
my bait, apparently. I don't know.
Had nothing to do with you.
I got nibbles, but anyway, it's like dating. It takes a while, so you could be patient or hit them over the head with a club, and that'll work out too. So I was talking to this guy. We were talking about Disney and football. Actually, he just
Oh,
stopped by.
yeah, I've seen a meme about comparing those two, but go ahead.
Oh, we were. This is weird because it was just a legit conversation we were having, and because my folding chair is a Cowboys chair. I got it from my ex-wife's dude, who gave it to me. So the guy was like, "How are them Cowboys?" I go, "I don't watch football. I'll be honest with you, and I don't follow the Cowboys. I just this chair. It was a free chair." He still stood there and talked to me about it for a while, and but he pointed out, he goes, he goes, "There's one thing he liked about the Cowboys is there was one guy who took a knee and started that anti-America bullshit, and he got fired. And then the coach came out and said, if you're on the Cowboys, we're here to play football. Keep your politics at home. And if you do that crap, you're out of here." And he said that was one thing that he respected. And I said, I can respect that. I can absolutely respect that because that to me, that's how it should be. Keep your politics away from this. And he said, and he goes, you know how much it costs to go to a game? And I said, I can't even imagine. It's a few $100 for a ticket, plus, 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 plus. And he goes, yeah. He goes, if I go to Phoenix to see a game, I am spending $1,200 between hotel, dinner, transportation, the game. Like it's a $1,200 weekend to go see a football game. And I said, well, yeah, it's like Disney. And he's like, exactly. He's like, it's a lot of money. And the people who have the money to pay to support your thing don't want all that garbage in their face. And I was like, amen, brother. Absolutely. Have you got any fish? It's like, no, I just feed ducks. I'm like, that seems like a better plan. At least you know when the ducks are fed.
Yeah, the video I was watching, it was this guy. He was talking about, uh, it's like, oh, people. I can't believe you. It sounds like he's talking about Disney people. He's like, oh, I can't believe you'd spend so much money to go spend time and just dress up and do this. And they're like, oh wait, no, that's a football game. Oh no,
Oh, right,
and then it's like but it's going to all these things that the sports guys would be like, oh, you people who go to Disney are stupid because you do
right.
this and this. It's like, yeah, you dress up, you spend more money
You put on
for a
makeup.
shorter period of time.
Right, right. Yeah. 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 Is Star Wars, Renaissance Fair, or football game. You're just a different class of nerd. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah. Agreed.
If you're not actually playing the sport, then you're just a nerd for the sport.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Awesome. All right, my friend. It's good talking to you. We'll catch up with Jeff another time. And Atomic Dork Squad for Sci-Fi Dan. I'm Jeffrey with the G. Y'all have a good night.
See ya.
See you, buddy.